Belal Muhammad versus Sean Brady is in the works for UFC 281, and Sean O'Malley called out Henry Cejudo, and Henry Cejudo responded. I'm going to break down both of these topics in today's MMA News reaction video, starting with Belal Muhammad versus Sean Brady being verbally agreed and in the works for UFC 281. I am emotionally confused by this matchup. I don't understand why it was made. I love the matchup. It's a great one. It's two top-level guys in the welterweight division. Belal Muhammad, Sean Brady. This way we can make sure that one of their fighting styles does not exist at the top of the welterweight division. And that's a big bonus, if you ask me. I really like that. Making sure only one of these guys can compete at the top level at welterweight. I just feel as though the matchmaking is silly. If Belal wins, he's going to claim that he deserves a title shot in the welterweight division. Why would you accept this fight when you know if Khamzat Chimaev wins another fight in the welterweight division, he's definitely going to get a title shot next up in the welterweight division? I just don't understand whatsoever. I have no idea why they made this fight. It's a great matchup. Looking forward to it. I'm leaning towards Belal Muhammad, but if it's a free rounder, I'm actually leaning towards Sean Brady. I'll be honest with you guys. He's got power. He's not going to fear the grappling whatsoever, and that gives him a bit of an advantage on the feet. I'm leaning towards Sean Brady because this is a 3-round fight, and I feel as though he might get the grappling advantage here. I didn't think he was going to easily out-grapple Michael Chiesa in the first 2 rounds. Michael Chiesa is a very good grappler, but I feel as though Belal Muhammad, although he's got good takedown defense, he has got good takedown defense, but Sean Brady doesn't really need takedowns, in all honesty, and it's very easy to stuff takedowns against Damian Maia when there's nothing to worry about on the feet whatsoever. Early on in the fight on the feet, Sean Brady does have some heat in his hands, and he is quite capable on the feet himself. He's a young guy coming up as well, new to the game, still new to the top of the game at least. So he has got some decent stand-up, and I think making Belal Muhammad worry about that, because he has got some decent power on the feet as well, looked good against Jake Matthews on the feet in their fight. I feel like it's going to be enough to make Belal Muhammad overthink the stand-up exchanges. I think he's going to be the one that doesn't lead the dance, and I think that's going to lead Sean Brady to being able to secure 2 dominant rounds of positional control over Belal Muhammad. Maybe he loses the first, but I do see him winning the first 2 here. Respect to Belal Muhammad, but yeah, I feel as though Brady's got this one in the bag. It's a great matchup. Looking forward to it. I guess this means Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington, which I'm a big fan of. So that means maybe Poirier versus Chandler is next as well. So at least it gives us some kind of like understanding of where things are going to go in other divisions and in this division as well, in the welterweight division moving forward. But I just feel as though if Belal Muhammad wins, he's going to say he deserves a title shot, and he does deserve a title shot if he beats Sean Brady. He's got enough top-level wins to get one. But he's not going to get one because if Chimaev wins against Covington, he's definitely getting a title shot. So if you're Belal Muhammad's manager, you must know that they've got other plans for Khamzat Chimaev and they've got other plans for Colby Covington. And that leads me to believe that those plans are against each other. Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington may as well be announced after this news coming out, because I don't see why Belal would take this fight otherwise. But he wants to stay active. He wants to make money. I think Belal Muhammad makes pretty decent money anyway, but this is a great matchup for him. Sean Brady has shown some weakness as well. So, you know, if Michael Chiesa can do well against you on the feet, I'm sure that maybe Belal Muhammad can make some stuff happen as well. But in those first 2 rounds, I think Belal's going to be at a strength difference, a strength disadvantage at least, and I think that's going to be the story of this bout. But if you're Belal Muhammad, listen, you're trying to make some money. He makes good money anyway. He made $181,000 with no bonus against Thompson. I think he made more than that against Vicente Luque. He's probably going to be on about 100 for 100 plus his fight week incentive pay. So Belal's going to be making some big money. He wants to stay active. I respect the activity. I think the best thing a contender can do is stay active, because we've been at a time recently in the sport where you've got guys being out-activitied by their champion, which makes no sense whatsoever. You're the contender. You should be the hungry one. So I respect Belal for keeping busy. It's a tough matchup for him. But in a 3-rounder, I'm just going to lean the way of Sean Brady in this one. He's such a strong guy in those first 2 rounds. And he broke his nose early against Michael Chiesa. So for him to still be able to dominate Chiesa in the grappling exchanges, maybe not a better grappler, but similar to the level of Belal Muhammad in grappling, but just a bit bigger and stronger. If he can dominate that guy in the first 2 rounds, and sort of win the positional control there. I think he can do the same thing to Belal Muhammad, but we'll see how it goes. It's a tough matchup, and respect to Belal Muhammad for taking this matchup. I guess this means Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington next. Good matchup, though. We'll see what else they do with UFC 281. That's going to be a good one. Moving on to some other news, which is a big matchup potentially between Sean O'Malley and Henry Cejudo. I like the idea of it. Basically, Henry Cejudo called out Sean O'Malley backstage. And this, to me, I don't know about you guys, is Sean O'Malley calling the bluff of Henry Cejudo. That's what I feel like this is. You want to fight me? You need to be in shape. I'm calling your bluff. And Henry Cejudo responded and said, I'm eligible in October per USADA. Plus, I have to lose some of this Mexican fat and stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. I think that Henry Cejudo would beat him. If you're going to beat Cejudo, now's the time. Awkward style, knockout power. You've got Cejudo coming back after a long time off. If he's going to be rusty in that first round and get caught by something, it's going to be in this fight against Sean O'Malley. So if you're Sean O'Malley at any point in your career, you want to fight a guy like Cejudo's level, now's the time to do it. So I understand why he's capitalizing. I do like that Sean O'Malley's looking to turn right back around and stay active. He's been a bit inactive, like once every 6 months in his career. Active enough, but you always want to see someone fight a bit more often than that. They don't need to be an Andre Fialho, but they do, or a Chris Curtis, who I might mention at the end of this video as well. But I would like to see him be a little bit more active after that last fight especially. It basically felt like we didn't even get an O'Malley fight. So he's turning back around. He wants to fight on September 10th. I feel as though he was calling Cejudo's bluff, and this fight isn't going to happen. Don't know about you guys, but I have that sense that he knows that Cejudo's too out of shape to make weight on September the 10th. So he's going to be like, September the 10th is when I'm fighting. It's in Vegas. I want to be on that card because Aljo and Dillashaw are in the main event. And if anything happens to the main event, why not you jump in for the main event? He's trying to lure Cejudo to come back a little bit too early and rush his comeback. And then whenever Cejudo says, oh, I'll fight in October, he's probably going to return at some point coming up soon by saying, like, you weren't ready when I wanted to go. I wanted to fight in Vegas because we all know O'Malley doesn't want to come back on a pay-per-view in October overseas. He likes to fight in Vegas, cash his checks in Vegas. He's very meticulous about that. That's a good word. I'm glad I got that out and I used it appropriately. He's very meticulous about fighting in Vegas because of course, the taxes that he's going to get a nice cut of and stuff like that. He's not going to have to pay as much taxes. It's going to be easier travel for him. There isn't even much of a time change. I'm pretty sure like Arizona is near to Nevada, which is where Las Vegas is. Just flexing my IQ on you guys right now. Don't mind me. But either way, September 10th is when O'Malley's going to come back. And I feel like Cejudo would beat O'Malley. He's hard to finish. He probably won't get KO'd by Sean O'Malley. Listen, O'Malley has KO power. But the difference is, especially in a division like bantamweight, there's certain guys who you know are going to get KO'd at some point. Or KO'd in general. Or have been already. And those guys are the Howley Pavers, the Eddie Winelands, you know what I'm saying? The Marlon Moraeses, who's no longer there. The Cody Garbrandts of the division as well. The Rob Fonts, I think eventually he's going to get KO'd at some point coming up soon. And I think that's what O'Malley's going to go with instead. So, we'll see what happens. I just feel as though the people that are going to get KO'd at bantamweight, O'Malley's gone past them now. You know what I mean? Now it's the Munozes, the Piotr Jans, the Corey Sandhagens, the guys who are going to be a little bit more difficult to put away, unless maybe Aljo, he can be put away by KO, but you've got to deal with the takedowns first to make sure that happens. But either way, Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, great matchup. I'm all there for the build-up. Maybe they can do it on a Fight Night main event. That'd be an amazing time. A Fight Night main event, Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo. That would be an amazing matchup. A great build-up. But I feel like the UFC is going to want to make the most out of this if they are going to make that matchup happen and put it on a pay-per-view to try and sell some pay-per-views because, of course, UFC 276 performed disastrously bad at 400k pay-per-view buys with the amount that they put on that card. So they're going to try and have O'Malley Cejudo on a pay-per-view. But I do believe O'Malley's going to use this. I don't think he wants Cejudo. It's a tough matchup for him. I think he'll worry about the takedown too much. Cejudo's got some good leg kicks of his own. He'll walk down O'Malley, put the pressure on him, make him think about the takedown, make him think about the power in the hands. So I don't like this matchup for O'Malley. I do think it's weird that Piotr Jan isn't good enough to fight Henry Cejudo, but Sean O'Malley is. I think that's a bit weird. In my opinion, no. Cejudo talking about he only wants to come back for gold, but if it's Sean O'Malley, count me in. But Petr Yan called him out. Petr Yan needs a matchup right now. That might be the matchup for O'Malley. I know he doesn't really want to look that far down the rankings, but who else is there for Petr Yan other than a returning Henry Cejudo? So I feel like they're probably going to try and do Cejudo versus Yan instead in October, because that makes sense for Petr Yan to fight in October because he's from that part of the world. He can go to Abu Dhabi, of course, a little bit closer to him than America is at least. So yeah, that's what I think they're going to do. Cejudo versus Yan and Sean O'Malley versus Rob Font on September 10th on the main card of the pay-per-view, the opener of the pay-per-view card. And I just am confused by Cejudo, man. Like, he said he was, like, last year he was calling out Volk and saying Volk was ducking him. You're eligible in October to come back, dude. So weird to me, man. Cejudo's just, either he's playing a game or he's just being legit and he was just trying to sort of secure a fight first and then talk about coming back at a later date. But he's just been so confusing to me with these comeback plans that he's had and stuff like that. It just hasn't made any sense. Like, he was calling out Volk last year and saying he was ducking him. Dude, you're only eligible this year in October. A year and a half later after your original call-outs of wanting to come back. Like, are you ready or not, dude? You're out of shape. You know what I mean? He needs to lose some weight and he'll be okay in October. So you joined the USADA pool in April? 6 months? You joined in April? Jesus. Why did you wait so long? You've been calling out people since last year, April. You waited until this April? 6 months of USADA testing is what you need before you can come back. You joined in April to be ready for October? Who, like, no shit you ain't been getting accepted fights. You ain't even ready to come back. Cejudo's real confusing. He might just be making headlines. Good for him if he is. He's made headlines. But it's just a weird thing for me. So I feel like I want to do, instead of this, I think O'Malley's going to lose. I think Cejudo's a bad matchup for him. But I'd rather see Cejudo versus Yan in October, where Cejudo can come back, and O'Malley versus Rob Font. I don't think O'Malley even earned a top-level guy like this. So I think he needs to beat a guy like Rob Font first. Then we can start looking at those top-level guys that he can get a matchup against. Maybe if Sandhagen beats Song Yadong and O'Malley beats Rob Font, we could see like a Sandhagen-O'Malley title elimination bout. That would be great. Yeah, I don't think this is the move to make right now with all the bad synchronization of return dates that's going on right now. So yeah. Also, Chris Curtis said he wants Darren Till in his corner, which is interesting, and Darren Till has accepted. So there you go, Chris Curtis making a bit of a headline again. He said, hey, Darren Till, Strickland isn't allowed in England. Also, I have a corner spot open, you down. Apparently, Sean Strickland destroyed his passport. I don't know why. Sounds about Strickland. I don't know what the reason is for doing that. Snitching or something like that. So, apparently, Strickland ain't allowed in England. He destroyed his passports. Something like that. I don't know what's going on. Strickland's having a real emotional breakdown after that Pereira loss, I would imagine. So, let's do Chris Curtis versus Hermansson with Darren Till in the corner. Till can make a bit of money, make the headlines. I just feel like Till's just a meme at this point. Like, not fighting at all and just being in this guy's corner and that guy's corner and Chimaev's corner. Like, fight yourself, man. Just fight as you. Stop being the tag-along for all the other successful guys. It's kind of cringe at this point. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip, I'll see you later. Goodbye.